Hey everybody, it's Pete Chido from the Meadville Tribune Sports Department, and it is time once again for Sideline Confidential, episode 11, as Jordan just reminded me off mic before we started. And it is a snowy day here on Wednesday, November 13th. And Jordan, and I'm here with Jordan, as I mentioned, Jordan Hansgen, sports writer. How are you today?
I'm good. Good.
And to my right is nobody's to my right. Matt DiGiacomo is on vacation, so it's just me and Jordan right now, which is fine. We'll see if we could handle it. But as we speak, fall sports is officially over, Jordan.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. A lot of good games. Some impressive performances. I mean, we can start wherever you want. You're the Victory Week football team this week with the Browns.
Oh yeah,
but,
sure.
Yeah. So, do you want to start there? Or do you want to start with Maplewood? They had a great game.
Yeah.
I guess we'll start with them because I think they deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
They fought tooth and nail with Farrell. I mean, one of the premier teams in the district, arguably the premier team in the district. If you want, you can debate them in Cathedral Prep with how dominant they've been, district-wise, state-wise. They've been a great
in the
program.
State. I mean, they've been in the semifinals or the finals the last 4 seasons in a row.
Yeah, so they're one of the premier teams in the state. And Maplewood, had a lead on them going into the fourth quarter, 20-19. In the end, Farrell's top players made big plays when they needed to. Anthony Stallworth, their line really took command in that fourth quarter. But Maplewood balled out. I mean, they played amazing, and they only lost to Farrell 35-20, and they took them to the ropes, and I think they gained a lot of respect from Farrell, from everyone, from the media, from fans.
Yeah.
I think everyone was impressed with how Maplewood played.
Was.
Yeah.
I mean, because I was actually born in Farrell. I've grown up watching them play football and stuff like that. And I admit I didn't. Everybody said it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game. I was dubious about that, to be honest, because I've been at this paper for almost 20 years now, and you see it all the time where an area team from up here in the north, will be having a great season, and then they'll run into a Mercer County powerhouse and just get and that's it, man. And so I was suspicious going into this game. Maplewood proved me wrong, man. They really, even seeing how good Maplewood was doing, it's still a different game sometimes when you head down south. But they proved that they could play, and that was really cool to see, man. Was to see Maplewood just show what they were made of. J.D. McFadden had a great game. Jesse McFadden, boy, he's going to be something else in the next couple of years. Sophomore receiver for the Tigers. Caleb Doner's going to be back running the ball. I think their line is going to need some patching up. They've lost some big, strong kids up there, but they got a taste of it this year. You know what I mean? Maybe this is something that's going to get those kids into the weight room and get them ready for next year. Kind of like losing did for Meadville last year. Maybe winning will do that for Maplewood this year. We'll get them focused on getting back there, because I know they had good time this year.
Yeah, I mean it was really a record-breaking and historic season for Maplewood. McFadden's now the all-time passer at Maplewood, over 6,000 yards passing.
All-time Crawford County,
yeah. I mean, Caleb Doner, single-season scoring and rushing records.
At Maplewood.
And Jesse McFadden is the career Maplewood receiver as a sophomore. So, I mean, just a tremendous all-around effort from those three guys. And, the credit is a lot to the line, too. McFadden had time to pass against a pretty strong Farrell defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maplewood, that what I thought was the most staggering thing to me was, Maplewood's line was pretty clearly undersized against the Farrell players.
Certain spots.
In
Brian Kelly
spots,
could match up with Farrell pretty well. Maybe Gilger was kind of the same size.
Yeah.
But maybe 2 against 5,
But they really held their own against that Farrell pass rush.
Even smaller guys.
Yeah, and of course McFadden was elusive enough to, roll out of the pocket a few times and find Jesse. It was an impressive display.
It was very cool. It was a good game. It's unfortunate they lost. That would have been quite a cool thing to be covering an upset. But Farrell's, they didn't get there by accident. That's quite a crew that they have, and we'll see how they how far they get in states this year.
Yeah, I mean, Maplewood could say, they could end up saying by the end of this Farrell run that we were the team that played the state championship.
We didn't mention that was a 35-20 final at the end. I think Maplewood was up 20-19.
20-19 going into the fourth. They were actually up at one point 20-13. But yeah, Farrell made the plays at the end.
Yeah,
Anthony Stallworth was pretty amazing in the second half there. I think he had over almost 200 yards rushing just in the second half alone.
Yeah, that's sweet to the left. He just bounce off the line and go around the left end and gone.
Crazy.
Yeah, they got speed. And then the next day, sadly, our last remaining fall team lost. That was Cochranton. They were in the state quarterfinals, Class A quarterfinals in girls volleyball. They ran up against Northern Cambria, who was ranked second in the state or something like that. They were defending state champions. Northern Cambria beat them in 4 games. And you know what? This is another thing where the future looks bright for this team. They as I wrote about in the story, Cochranton, when they started the season, Coach Marcy Mallard, she wasn't real sure what she was dealing with those girls, because there was a lot of young girls, a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores on the court, and they had to find their identity. I don't think that they fully have yet, but the identity that they were able to find to this point in the season got them a District 10 championship, and it got them to take a game and have a couple close ones with the defending state champion in Class 1A in Northern Cambria. They had a pretty decent match. So, I mean, that team, that group of young girls, came a long way. And so that's, all things considered, everybody stays healthy, people come back, people stay working. I think Cochranton girls have an even brighter future next year. And by the way, Northern Cambria, they won tonight over Clarion. That was a big showdown in the West. They won in, I think, 4 games today in the Class 1A semifinals. Yeah, 4 games. The first game was 31-29. Northern Cambria won that. So that was a pretty wild one there. So Northern Cambria is on to the state championship against Nativity, the District 11 champion. I don't know much about them, but Northern Cambria is tough, and they're going back for their second straight state title. So, for Cochranton to play as well as they did against them, I think is an accomplishment for them. Excuse me, hang on. Say something, Jordan. Yeah,
I mean, I guess we can transfer over to a win. I mean, we can transfer over a little bit to college, where the Allegheny Gators football team won their third game and 3rd out of 4. I think the Rich Nagy era, I mean, he's immediately seen strides from where the team was at the beginning of the year to where they are now. Their defense shored up, and they did something clever. They brought in Chase Bala, whose brother was a running back for Allegheny, Tyler Bala, and he runs the football and gives that team a little bit more, grit, sandpaper in their run game, and
he still has the job on defense too.
Yeah, and he still plays pretty well at safety. He's still almost, I believe he's one of the top tacklers. I think they call him a rover, so he's like a safety linebacker hybrid. But he's been really good for them, and he's also given their running backs like a little bit of an edge, maybe a little bit of a break, a little bit of a breather. But all 3 of them ran really hard against Worcester. The run game was something that was struggling earlier in the year, and it's really gotten going as of late. And I mean, the Gators are getting wins because of it.
And Worcester wasn't having a bad season. They came in with 5 wins overall. Allegheny only had 2 at the time. Allegheny ended up beating them, edging them, real close one, wasn't it? 24-14. Allegheny was down at the half, is that correct?
It was tied at the half. Allegheny got a late touchdown from Bala to tie things up. They were down 14-0 early, and then they scored 24 unanswered to take the win.
Defense pitched a shutout in the second half. That's pretty cool. And then they could end the season with another win. They could win 4 straight. They got Oberlin to finish the regular season on Saturday. Oberlin's 1-8 on the year, so that's another winnable one for Coach Nagy and the Gators. That's gonna, if they could win that game, Allegheny ends the season 4-6 overall, 4-5 in the NCAC, and that's after a 0-5 start. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty good second half to the season. That shows a lot
Something
of progress
to build upon.
Yeah, absolutely. So our high school fall sports is done. There's still some college and national stuff for the fall. Right now we're getting started on our winter sports guide. We're going to be talking about that in weeks to come. Basketball, wrestling, what else? Swimming.
And a little bit more hockey as we
more hockey,
along.
Speaking of hockey, let's see. Meadville did not do very well tonight, did they?
No, they did not. And Coach Plunkett was not pleased.
What did they do? They played Franklin Regional, lost 7-2.
Regional, a good Franklin Regional team. They're 4-1 in the PIHL. But they, I guess the defensive effort just wasn't there today, and Plunkett didn't mince words. What was the line that he said?
It was one of the most embarrassing losses I've been associated with in all my years, and you could quote me on that.
And you can quote me on that. So yeah, I think that's hockey is a thing that the motivational tactics, you find it anywhere you can get it.
Yeah.
And I think that, and I mean, Plunkett's been doing this so long, he knows how to get a spark from his players, and I expect them to really listen to that and take it to heart. And I expect better play. I mean, I imagine that he's such a good coach, and that program's so good that they'll bounce back. They'll find a way to figure things out and clean things up. But yeah, they're up a class, so they're getting challenged.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, on one hand, it's a good thing. They'll make the players better, but they gotta I guess, and they gotta figure stuff out, and hopefully they'll bounce back here.
They looked decent against Jamestown last Monday. I saw them, and
that's a big school in New York too.
Yeah, the Red Raiders, and then the week before that, they didn't look very good in a loss to, who was it? They lost to somebody else, like 9-1 or something like that. They lost one, they look good, they lose another one tough. It's going to be that kind of season. I think they have one senior on the team. You know what I mean? I think, especially in the early part of the season, I think it's going to be that type of team. You're going to see ups, you're going to see downs, and hopefully they could regulate and play a little more consistently as the season goes on. It's a long season. They're going to play a lot of hockey. They're going to be a different team come February, March than they are right now. Hopefully, and I imagine, and with the staff that they have and with the tradition that they have there at Meadville, it's going to be a better team come the end of the season. But it's also, they're learning what it's like in 2A, and it's tough. It's tough.
Different, yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
A lot of unfamiliar opponents. Mm-hmm. Well, I know that Plunkett likes to challenge his team, and he plays teams higher ranked a bunch.
Yeah.
When he was in Class A, but it's still a different, having that type of game day in, day out. Mm-hmm. Probably is a welcome challenge to the Bulldogs.
So that's high school hockey. Let's see. Okay, NFL. I mean, I don't really care to brag. I mean, it was an ugly game on both sides, kind of. Of all the teams to play, the cleaner of the two games, I'm surprised at who it actually was. Mm-hmm. The Browns, how many penalties did they have? It's like
4.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Throughohout the game, I was like, where are these flags? Yeah, I was like, I've been hearing all year about this undisciplined team, and that team was very disciplined. And really, both teams were. The refs really didn't call much. The Bills had a few costly penalties. I think it was after their safety. They got like 2 in a row from the most penalized player on the team, Lee Smith, who plays like 10% plays and gets penalties all the time. But I mean, what I learned from the game is that there really isn't much separating. Like there's a couple teams at the bottom that are really bad, and there's a couple teams in the league at the top that are really good.
Yeah.
And then everybody else, like the Browns lost a few close games and they end up at 2-6.
Yep.
And they're better than 2-6. They're probably more like a 4-4 team. And the Bills, They win a lot of close games. They're at 6-2, but in reality, they're probably more like a 4-4 team. And what you get out of that is a really close game, and the Browns made the plays at the end that were needed to be made. Happy for Baker, and I'm happy for Kitchens. I think Kitchens still has some issues. 8-play goal line stand by the Bills is something wild. I thought honestly, I was like, well, this is our game. Like if something like that happens, like you just like kind of get a feeling like, oh, you're gonna win. Like that's such a rarity. It's such a strange thing. But Baker played a pretty clean game. He had one throw that was dangerous. That two Bills players like collided and ran into each other. But overall, he played a pretty clean game. Beckham made plays. Landry made a huge catch at the end in the corner that led to the Rashard Higgins touchdown.
Yeah. Kareem Hunt was a nice addition.
Kareem Hunt was good. Yeah. Nick Chubb had a great game again. I mean, he's just a great running back. And overall, the Bills just didn't make the plays when they needed to. I think that and their coaching staff was weird. They get down to wherever they were, 36, and they're just like, oh, we're good. Our kicker can't make it here, but we're good. We're good, fine with this. I mean, credit to the Browns. I think that they needed it. They needed it a lot. The Bills, they needed it more than I think they thought they did.
Uh-huh.
And now the wild card's wide open again. And the Browns could go on a tear here. They have the easy schedule.
That's what they say, yeah.
I mean, it comes down, I think, to they play the Steelers twice in the upcoming weeks. Those are huge games. They have to sweep them. They have to win out, really, if you want to be confident in it. And I'm really excited for that Thursday game. I think it's going to be a great game. The Browns have a little bit more of I saw the swagger, I think, at the end of that game. A little bit.
I don't think they would be earned because they eked out an ugly win against a team with a good record. So I could see them being confident about that, but I don't think they've earned any damn.
I think the Bills are the ideal like morale boost team. Like I think they're the team that's like, look at these guys. They're 6-2. Let's beat them. And it's like you can definitely beat them. They are very beatable right now.
You're right about those flags. Every time the Browns did something well, I'm looking at the score chyron at the bottom of the screen, like, where's the yellow? Where's the yellow? No yellow.
I mean, credit to them. They played well enough to win. And in the NFL, wins don't come easy, so you gotta take them when you can get them. And this is a good win for them.
But yeah, Thursday is going to be a good game. I think
Steelers look good right now.
Steelers look good. Yeah. That defense is looking tough. That Minka Fitzpatrick is really playing well for them.
It's probably going to be another game like the one that we saw on Sunday. It's probably going to be another 19-16 slugfest because I'm not super impressed with Rudolph. I think he's fine.
Right.
But he's, he does. The credit to Randy Fichtner for changing the offense completely to suit Rudolph. The way Big Ben, they just let him throw all the time,
right?
And Rudolph, they kind of strategically place him in the spots where he can succeed. And they've done I think that they might be in good argument for Coach of the Year, Mike Tomlin. I think that team with all the adversity that they've dealt with to be 5-4, sitting where they are is very impressive.
Which is, hilarious you say that considering what you read, on Twitter, like a halftime of a Sunday game. And
right.
Fire Tomlin, fire Fichtner.
They have a higher standards than I do. I mean, I would love to have Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
I don't think Mike Tomlin's settling for a 53-yarder there. But, I mean, that's the NFL. Penn State lost, but Journey played it really well.
Okay, shifting gears. Yeah, Penn State. Yeah. They lost to Minnesota. What was the final there? 31-26. And yeah, Journey Brown, career high. I think 12 carries or 14 carries, 124 yards, something like that. 2 touchdowns. He scored first one on a 45-yarder, gorgeous run. It looked like the old times. He got sprung around the end and then just started, flying past defenders. It's if you covered or watched Meadville football when he was playing it, it looked pretty dang familiar. Just him outrunning everybody to the end zone. That was cool to see. Sadly, we're talking about it in a loss to Minnesota. They were all the way up to 4th in the college football playoffs rankings. They got knocked back to what today?
9.
Yeah. And Georgia took over the 4th spot. So, you know, it was maybe a high rank. Minnesota's, they look great. You know, talking about Twitter, you know, everybody's on Franklin, everybody's on Ricky Rain, if that's how you pronounce his last name. Everybody's complaining about what they call
I feel like that's been
the
the Penn State thing for a while now, is that Ricky Rain is like the guy on the chopping block that all the fans don't like.
I see.
And it's, I don't know. I don't know if that's a problem.
Minnesota
they scored
played
26.
Yeah, I mean that quarterback looked good. The receivers got open, made catches. You know, they played a tough game. You know, Penn State couldn't stop them. It didn't seem to be as much an issue with the offense as it was, an issue with the defense. It was just porous. They kept letting them move the ball on them, and they couldn't stop them, and they ended up losing. You know, that's the way it looked to me. I don't know.
Yeah, and they fell to 9. Minnesota only moved up to 8. I still think is kind of insulting by the committee. I mean, you beat the number 14.
And you're undefeated?
And you still are left at 8. But, I mean, Minnesota has it all in their hands to get to the playoff if they want it. So, in the end, the ranking for them doesn't really mean that much. They go undefeated, they'll be in. Yeah.
Let's see. Allegheny basketball started. Well, men's basketball started
basketball, tonight. Women's basketball was canceled due to
they were supposed to start against Bethany
due to the snows.
Yeah,
but and the men's team, the high quality win. Carnegie Mellon's normally pretty good, and 86-81. Yeah, and Jordan Rawls is now the senior leader of that team, and he showed it. He put up 33. In the win. 6 of 9 from 3.
That's pretty outstanding.
7
boards, 4 assists.
Keno Holmes didn't have a great shooting performance. He was 2 for 10 from the field. Both were 3s, but he led the team in assists with 6. They kind of divvy out the way they pass. It seemed like everybody had either 6 to 4 assists. So
they move the ball around.
Yeah, they move the ball around. They don't really have a true point guard that just runs the floor. They like to get up shots. I know that's how they were last time. And I mean, they got up a lot of shots, and they made a lot of them. 86 points is something that has become kind of a thing with Allegheny. They score a lot. And they held off Carnegie Mellon. They had a 41-30 lead, and Carnegie Mellon never got a lead in the second half.
And it got close, though. I was watching a little bit online. It was, I think, 83-81. 83-81 at some point. Real late in the fourth quarter, and I think Carnegie Mellon had the ball, and Caden Hinckley, forward for Allegheny, ended up getting a steal with like 12 seconds left to put Allegheny on the line, and so that was a big defensive play by him. But he also ended up with an 11.12 rebound double. Also had 4 blocks, so he was pretty key inside there. So they're off to a win. We'll have to see. I didn't see a makeup date for the Allegheny women, but we don't know when they're starting. Edinboro got started tonight. Well, the women got started tonight. They beat Lake Erie College pretty easily, 87-42. Slippery Rock men played. Who the heck did they play today? I can't remember. LaShawn Lindsay, Meadville graduate, had a pretty nice game. He had 6 points, I think 11 rebounds to lead the team. He also had, I think, 3 blocks and 2 steals to lead both of those categories as well for Slippery Rock.
Played 27 minutes, I think it was, so he's getting a lot of minutes early in his career there.
Who was this? Oh, Penn State Barron? Is that who they played? I think. Oh, Shenango. No, it was Penn State Shenango, I think, that they played. Anyway, so that was a win for them. I think Samuel Wolfer's playing out of Penn State, Pitt Titusville. I think they lost today. But he's having a good start. We have to follow up on him a little more, pay more attention to him. Anyway, wrestling started. I don't know. We didn't get to talk about that last week, did we? Which is a shame that Matt's not here.
I think we hinted at it, but
he was up at the Edinboro wrestling team. They were hosting Wisconsin up at Slippery Rock High School. I saw pictures of it that Shannon sent me, and it looked like it was a packed house. That was on Tuesday? No,
it was Friday.
Friday. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was the same game. The Badgers ended up winning that one 28-15. It was a homecoming of sorts for a lot of different wrestlers from the area. 3 Sagertown wrestlers, 1 Cambridge wrestler was there. Unfortunately, none of those guys, ended up winning their bouts. they all lost. I think Ty Varndell from Cambridge Springs lost to 133 to Seth Gross, 2-minute pin. Seth Gross was the number one ranked wrestler at that weight class. I think he's the defending national champion. So that was a one to grow on for the freshman Varndell. Cody Mulligan lost to Tyler Dow at 184, 5-2. Let's see. Tyler Vath ended up losing at 149 to Cole Martin, 17-4. Dylan Reynolds, he ended up getting a win, but it was by forfeit. So he gets back into his gym for the first time since his high school days, and they end up forfeiting too. And apparently they had a wrestler there, but they just didn't send him out because the match was already in the bag. And I believe that got some boos from the people that were in the house to see the guys in their hometown again. But I don't think Wisconsin was either A, aware, or B, just didn't care. And they didn't send out a wrestler to face Dylan Reynolds. So, but, Wisconsin, they're ranked seventh in the nation. So, 28-15, a reasonable result, I guess. If they could have turned a couple of those close ones, maybe they could have, pulled something out. But it did happen. Edinburgh drops to 3-1 in the year. Wisconsin goes to 5-0. Let's see. Oh, bro, other like big sports today. We just got done putting the paper to bed, and the big story in tomorrow's paper is the Evansville Purple Aces defeating number one ranked Kentucky.
Kentucky was 39-0 at home against
unranked teams.
Against unranked teams.
I
mean, records like that are just meant to be broken. Yeah.
67-64 was.
I actually did watch a little bit of the end of the game, and Evansville, credit to them, they were fearless. Most teams when they're the underdog, they just try to we'll just jack up our threes. They'll let us have these deep 3-pointers. And Evansville really attacked the basket and drew fouls and made some layups, and they got a big offensive rebound at the end to close out Kentucky. So, I mean, it's just crazy that the number one team in the country that had a very impressive win, I think it was against Michigan State in their opener, and they follow it up with with a loss to Evansville.
I just put in the paper in Tuesday's edition about how they took the number one. They're back at number one, and then the next day, they go down.
And it's just, I think that's what makes like college sports so fun is that you have games like that you don't really get in professional sports. You don't get an upset like that where it's that emotional or that wild or that unexpected.
You don't get a team named the Purple Aces, man.
Purple
Never
Aces
heard of them.
versus the Wildcats.
All right, Purple Aces. Let's see what else is going on. We mentioned Thursday, Steelers and Browns. That's going to be a big game. Also a big game is Miami playing North Carolina on Thursday. So Pitt fans, you better get to a what do you call it, a sports bar or something with multiple televisions.
I guess
there's a lot going on that night.
Yeah, Coach Narduzzi for Pitt is not pleased with the NFL because Pitt, I guess they struggle to. They're not going to fill that building anyway, and with the Steelers playing a big game against Cleveland on primetime, it just makes it harder for Pitt to fill Phil Hines Field.
Yeah.
And no, it's a shame. It just stinks the way that worked out for them.
He says the NFL should look at it. The NFL's not going to. Oh well, what's
the NFL could care less, and it's just kind of like how the ACC's been this year. They launched a network.
Yeah.
And so their thing is they like to play games on Fridays. Mm-hmm. I think Wake Forest played 3 Friday night games in a row, and that really hurts recruiting because the argument is oh, why can't the recruits come on Friday? Well, they play football on Friday, so they don't get the Friday night is not college football. It should never be college football. That. I like the Tuesday night college football games more than the Friday night ones.
Really?
I love the action. There's football on every day from November for the entire month of November essentially, because the MAC likes to play Tuesday games.
Who's playing Wednesday? There is a Wednesday game.
There's a Wednesday game. Probably Toledo or something.
Yeah, Miami, Ohio versus Bowling Green. Yeah, you're right. Toledo versus Northern Illinois. And Thursday, Pitt versus North Carolina. And your Buffalo is playing versus Kent State on Thursday.
Yep. The MAC doesn't play Saturdays for the month of November.
Oh, that's weird. Friday night, Marshall, Louisiana Tech, Fresno State versus San Diego State. Blah, 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 blah. So, really, that's about it. We got a big football game. We talked about the Bills. Pens are up and down. They just lost tonight against the Rangers in overtime, 3-2.
Sabres went to Sweden, and they
I thought that was a euphemism.
they lost twice. No, yeah, Sabres lost twice in Sweden, so hopefully we don't have to go to Sweden ever again.
Ever again.
Yeah.
Forget Sweden. The Cavaliers lost to
Cavaliers,
Philadelphia.
though,
Not bad. Okay. They're doing
4-5,
4
new
and 6
coach,
now.
4-6 with, but they battled Philadelphia, who's
Yeah.
one of the best teams in the league, and I think Beeline's got something going there. He's got a lot of young players that he just, it seems like he just signs them out there and lets them play.
Cavs were up late, couldn't hold on. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. But, right now they're in a playoff spot, which is crazy.
We're 10 games into the season, 10, 11 games.
I believe.
Good, man. We need fans like you. That's about it for now, guys. If you got anything else you want to talk about? The Astros were stealing signs. Did you see that video?
That is an awesome video against my White Sox.
Yeah.
The White Sox won the game anyway. But
the guy's putting down the changeup sign, and you hear clong, clong.
Yeah.
And there's the thing, and then the guy puts down a fastball sign, nothing.
Smart by that
up,
pitcher.
clong, clong. Yeah, because he was hearing.
He paused it, and he's just like, "They're stealing these signs. We gotta switch it up." Yeah. But the crazy thing is that the guy's argument was it's so fast that there's no way they're not using some sort of technology.
Oh right, no, because it was right as soon as he put down a sign.
Yeah.
For changeup, you heard dang, blang, blang. Somebody was hitting a gong in the stadium.
It was kind of awesome. I felt like I was watching a spy movie.
Yeah.
That was like the vibe. Like I was getting like a little stressed out. I was sweating a little bit. And I was like, oh, they got him. And I was waiting for the Astros, if they've been doing that for years,
I wonder if they did. This was during 2017 when they won the World Series title. How's MLB going to handle it?
It's kind of like the Spygate thing with the Patriots, where they were saying they did it in these regular season games. Well, if they did it in the regular season games, odds are they did it in the games that matter more. So it's just a lot of integrity issues with the Astros that. They've been dealing with a lot of stuff, a lot of fallout for
that
political
GM
issues. Just a lot of bad stuff coming from there. A lot of bad smelling stuff for the Astros, and it's a shame because I really like a lot of their players, and it's just disappointing, that's been going on.
Yeah, we'll see what the MLB does. I don't know that they really like confrontation a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't know what they could do. Are they just going to suspend a coach? Because that doesn't really solve the problem.
Well, what are they going to do? Vacate the championship?
I don't know if that's even an answer, but I expect either hefty fines, draft pick losses, or something like that. Because that's what they did to the Patriots for their mishaps.
Yeah, a lot of harm it caused them.
Yeah, it doesn't really stop them.
Okay.
I think that's that.
Matt, you got anything to say? I'd be that way, dude. But yeah. Okay, so I guess that's it for this week.
At Tribune_sports.
That's on Twitter.
Sports@meadvilletribune.com.
That's on email. If you guys have anything to add, anything you want to say to us, compliments, criticisms. You're
good at music. Write us a theme.
Yeah. Give us some theme music, something good. But if you listened and you enjoyed, thank you. If you didn't enjoy, thanks for listening anyway. But come back next week, big episode 12 special event. And nothing really. We're just going to talk the same as we always have. But we appreciate you listening. For Jordan, for Matt in absentia, for Lisa, she's not here either. For everybody in the newsroom, I'm Pete. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.